Well, that was very obvious. Playing the two bigs had a little rust on us, particularly the first half. So you got 2 fouls early, and I didn't think we was very smooth, those guys. But I thought we played hard, in particular the first 12 minutes of that first half. Then I thought we got about 20. We played to the score too much. I thought the second half, I thought we came out, we were the big lineup, and kind of locked in a little bit more defensively. I think with 6 minutes to go, they had either 14 or 16 points at that point. Probably wasn't as good offensively. Missed a lot of plays around that hole, missed some free throws, but I thought we locked in. Johnny's had some really good teams. Johnny does a great job, and I know he's young right now, and that's not one of his better teams, but won't be no more of those for right now. Move on to that next one, and everybody knows that next one's next Saturday night, and we got one of the better teams in the country come here in West Virginia.
How important was it to get Sydney and Moultrie still in the flow of things before West Virginia?
Well, it was very obvious. I played them until they couldn't play. One of them was wanting to come out of the game, wanting to come out of the game, and we just turned our head, let him stay in the game. And we gave up some points in that stretch when he was just so fatigued he couldn't move, but hey, he needed that. Didn't get much the first half. He got 7 minutes first half, picked up 3 fouls, so we were just trying to keep him in there and let him play through fatigue. And Arnett, I'm sure he had some rust about him, but his effort wasn't rusty at all. I mean, he just goes and gets it. But it was good to leave him out there and get some minutes from him.
This is, you don't hear this question often, but
yeah.
Arnett at the free throw line, 10 for 10 today.
Like that, yeah, that was good. That was real good. I'm going to tell you, he stays around after practice every day. He's one of those guys every day. This summer he couldn't have done that. He's one of those guys that works. Him and Coach Cunningham every day after practice. I don't care how hard we practice and how long we practice. He goes through a session of shooting, and it's paid off for him. At the free throw line, it's paid off for him. He hadn't stepped up there and shot many threes, but you've seen him made a couple already. I think he's what's he on the year? 2 for 3?
Yeah.
What, 2 for 3? Hadn't shot many, but he couldn't have done that this summer. So he's a guy that's getting better from the work he's put in.
How much presence do you think he had to do with y'all's 63% shooting in the first half too, and all those?
I get a lot of easy baskets and a whole bunch of it. Our baskets came a little different this game than it did the last 2 games. Last 2 games we dribbled to the post some and shot threes. We didn't throw it in there a lot. Tonight we threw it to the block a lot. But also I thought Wendell and Jalen came off the bench, in particularly the first half, and really added to. And that's what we need from those guys. They're going to get a lot of minutes, particularly Wendell. And the amount of minutes he plays, productivity of those minutes is going to be different than winning and losing a lot of games. And he was very productive tonight, both him and Jalen. It was good to see Jalen step up and make some shots.
What Rodney's night, again, they make a run a little bit. Rodney makes a defensive play, hits a 3. He's playing a lot of minutes as a freshman and just seems to handle it well.
There's just a lot of different weapons out there at times. It's really hard to zero in too many places, and Hood can benefit from having all these guys around him. He can benefit from some easier drives because people don't help off of him. He can benefit from people digging in that post. But again, he finds ways with different lineups and different teams just to get some things done.
Is there a concern there at all with Rodney? I think he's leading the team in minutes played. That might need to get Sean back as soon as you can to kind of give him some rest.
No,
you think maybe a freshman wall?
No. I mean, I'm doing it for a reason. I got depth over there. Brian Bryant is a guy that we slide over at that 3 at any time with Jalen playing with the 2. We haven't had to do it a whole lot because I want Hood to get a lot of minutes in these last 2 games. And New York, we got in foul trouble, so he had to play extended minutes. But hey, I like that he's playing a lot of extended minutes right now. He'll get a lot of experience from this.
You had a couple halves here, the last couple of games where you mentioned you're shooting very well. What do you think's been the key there? It's not necessarily just been jumpers, but I think Paul's mentioned maybe Arnett's changing things down there for you a little bit, the way teams are attacking.
Well, the last 2 games we didn't have anybody inside to throw it to.
Right.
But and I said this from day one, the reason this team doesn't have pin down 3-point shots, because we have different guys that can do what?
Create off the dribble.
Manufacture baskets.
Yeah.
Off that bounce. And that dribble is one of the toughest things to defend, and we got multiple guys can do that. You know, there's 4 guys out there. All the time when you're small can do that. Last 2 games, we played small and played against a lot of zone. But we didn't beat people shooting threes. We beat them different ways. We weren't able to do that last year. You know, we had one guy who can manufacture baskets. That was D. Bost. It wasn't Riley B. Knox's strengths, and it wasn't Ray Burns' strengths. And that makes it tough. And you have to depend on that shot so much. And you depend on that shot, a 3-point shot, you know, that's very difficult. I think we have the flexibility this year. We have 2 things. We have some more guys can drive it to the paint, and we can throw it to the paint and finish better than we could last year. Whether that's Sydney or whether that's Arnett. We didn't have that versatility last year with Cody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had one guy last year, and that was Sid. When he went out, it was a different team. You know, we played Cody a lot at the 5, and try to do it a different way. So I think it's versatility that we have. We just got to keep finding ways. We got to get back in our rhythm. We weren't very smooth out there tonight, consistent when we was playing big. It's very obvious those guys being out a week lost some things, and us playing a totally different way for last week wasn't smooth. But we'll have this week to work on it. And like I said, we got a really, really good West Virginia team coming here.
Last year, you guys struggled rebounding the ball at times, which is obviously a big thing. But this year, you feel like you've gotten back to that point where you want rebounding. You guys out-rebounding every team,
Let me tell you,
no matter the lineup.
When Arnett's on the floor, he helps all those stats. Just remember that. When Arnett's on the floor, he makes you a better rebounding team automatically. He's just one of those guys who has a nose for it and has ability with the nose. And that's a rare characteristic. Some guys have a nose for it, maybe can't jump very well to do it. You got to be the best athlete in the world to rebound if you really got a nose for it. But he's got them both. And that's something he embraces. He's going to rebound that basketball. He went there tonight and got a couple. I didn't see where he came from. He just went and got them. So hopefully that's a strength all year. We got to get some other guys stepping up doing that. I think Wendell's gotten better at it. He's better. And there's no question we're a better rebounding team than we were, for sure.
Rick, you got a week. How do you properly simulate what West Virginia does with that 1-3-1, whatever the heck they do defensively?
Well, the biggest thing you got to try to simulate is when they shoot it, their best offense trying to go get it. That's number 1. I mean, forget rankings. Hey, I promise you, West Virginia's one of the better teams in the country. That's like UNLV last night wasn't ranked and beat Carolina, blew them out. I've seen West Virginia play 1 game already, and I'm telling you, they're really good. They're big. Jones and that big Turkey kid, that Truck Brian's son out there playing. His team's always going to be tough defensively, tough-minded. And when they shoot it, that's their best offense, going to rebound the basketball. So that's going to be our challenge right off the bat. So great opportunity for us. Hey, Big East SEC challenge. Is West Virginia leaving the league? Are they staying? What they do? They didn't join the Big 12? So they're still in the Big East?
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll be a big challenge, but a great opportunity for us. I think it's next Saturday night, 8 o'clock, right?
Yes.
ESPN game.
Best start in 8 years for you. As much success you've had, is it hard to believe, and how good is it to, so far in the season, not to have one of these teams come up and bite you, so to speak?
If I really told you this, you wouldn't believe it. Naturally, you'd rather win than lose, but I will promise you, don't even think nothing about that. You think about the next game, getting ready for it, and if you happen to look back and you figure out you're 7-1, great. I really don't even think about it, because different teams, you play different people at different times. Last year's team, I don't even look at that, because we were put together. We wasn't even put together. We were just there. That was a huge challenge. So I don't even look at last year's. Last year's team should have been, because of the people we played, had a chance to have a better record because of the people we played. But it wasn't, our team wasn't as good.